This is his first time really officially on this show.
That's crazy.
I mean, we play his music throughout this show. To have him in person is really a treat for us to have him.
Dope.
From Ramen and OJ, ADHD, all these different projects this man has put out throughout his career. I'm Not a Racist. The videos he shot, the artists he's worked with, from j.cole to Lil Baby to Will Smith to Eminem.
It's crazy.
Right? And just watching this man's work, watching his vision, not just what he does as a vocalist, but what he does as a visionary, as a director. I knew that this man was the complete package. But when I have fun listening to his metaphors and his similes and trying to dissect them, and that's the thing that keeps me excited about music. And when people kind of meet that standard that keeps my mind working, I grow to be more and more fond of them. And so I've been wanting to have this man on the show for a long time. We weren't able to make it happen. We needed to figure it out. A good friend of ours, Muggs, brought us together.
Muggs!
My man Muggs. Give
What
it up
up,
for
Muggs?
Muggs.
Hey, Muggs.
And Muggs called me at a pretty crucial time. This was when my grandmother was in the hospital.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, you
I
remember that?
remember.
And I took some time off to see her off in a wonderful transition. And Muggs said, hey, man, I got Joyner Lucas with me. What? Man, can you hook us up? You know, because I feel like he and I should have a conversation. He was doing a song with Tech Nine, who's someone I used to manage. Right? And I said, this is just, this is serendipitous that you are standing there with them. And he put us on the phone. And I wanted to let you know that how big of a fan I was of yours and still am. And with some of the music, I wanted to even talk about music at this time. My grandmother's down the hallway in the hospital, but it was important to me to let you know that I'm a true fan of yours. And I think what you do is important to the culture. And even beyond culture, is important to the community, and that people who are in proximity of your work are receiving a lot of healing through your words, through your honesty, through your transparency, and through your unique way of telling these stories. First, second person perspectives, all the different things you've done with music and with your lyrics. I want to commend you, Joyner Lucas, for constantly pushing the envelope, for constantly putting in the universe some fruit, some nourishment, okay, and for constantly keeping these MCs off their lazy asses and knowing that if they have to collaborate with you, they got to bring their A game, because people like to think that that's not important. So I want to welcome you to the show, ladies and gentlemen. Give it up for the Grammy-nominated, the one and only Joyner Lucas is up in here.
Whoa.
Guys, Joyner Lucas is up in here.
It happened.
Wow.
It happened.
Welcome.
Wow.
I'm good.
What an introduction, bro.
I could have went longer, man. I'm cold.
Cold.
What an introduction.
No.
That was. I'm humbled, man. That was a beautiful sentiment, man. That's easy. Wow. I don't know what to say. Thank you, man. Getting welcomed like that up here, man, by somebody like yourself that's special, man. Thank you, brother.
Thank you.
I love you
Thank
for that,
man. I
too.
love you too, man. And I'm glad we finally connected, man. Come on, man.
For sure.
You got a lot of big chains on, Joyner Lucas. Life's been good, huh? Life's been good, huh?
That's been all right.
Yeah, right. Well, I also appreciate your business sense too. The way you've conducted your career. When we were coming up, Heather B and I, we came in the game as artists. A lot of folks don't know that I was an artist first before I got into radio. Radio was just the shit. I got to do something, and knew how to take advantage of the opportunity and make it what it's been for over 3 decades. But it's not easy to stand out sometimes. You know what I mean? It's not easy to be heard. Even when you're dope, it's even harder because people got to use more of an effort to understand what it is you're doing.
Yeah.
What was your purpose, man? Like when you wanted to be an artist, was it just to be a great MC or did you have a purpose behind it?
That's a good question. I think it started off, just wanting to be a great artist, and then I think I found the purpose as time went on. But above all, I think when I first started out, I was a kid, man. I was 9, 10, years old, and just even trying to break into the industry even at that time. You know what I mean?
Wow.
Competing with Bow Wow. You know what I mean? But Bow Wow didn't know I was competing with him. And nobody knew who Joyner Lucas was at that time, but in my mind, I'd like to think I was competing with Bow Wow, sending demos out to the record labels, and you know what I mean, trying to get signed and stuff like that. And then, you know, it wasn't until, you know, I got older, you know what I mean, and I really started getting in my bag and started to, you know, find myself, you know, my lane as a person, you know, and, you know, as an artist. And I think that's where I kind of started developing my own sound, because when I was young, you know, I used to like try to sound like everybody else.
Yeah.
I got songs sounding like everybody.
Like everybody.
Everybody's cadence. I can like replicate anybody's cadence at a time. You know, Eminem was a big influence. I would try to sound like M. Whoever was popping at the time, I wanted to sound like them. Juvenile. I got a song when I was like 12 that I was rapping like Juvenile.
Wait, you got a
Yeah.
voice? Let me hear your
like,
Juvie
you know,
voice.
like it was like trying to get paid. You know what I mean? Like how Juvie be trying to rap. You know what I'm saying? Oh, you think you real, huh? Oh, you think you're a man, huh? You know what I mean? Ironically, the j.cole record,
Yeah.
I broke your heart, huh? You know,
Wow.
you know that was like real Juvie inspired for sure.
Oh, snap.
Yeah,
Word.
yeah.
Full circle moment.
Yeah.
Wow. But doing that as a youth, like, to me, that's such a great form of learning and appreciating the art.
Yeah.
You know, getting all the foundation and the rules down so you can break them.
Yeah, and I was like very influenced and inspired by like Busta Rhymes. I try to sound like him. Try to sound like Nelly at one point. You know, like every night. How Nelly used to rap, you know,
Wow.
he used to like kind of sing rap. I did all of that, all of those flows, all of that. I tried to sound like everybody that was hot, because you think like, oh, this is working for them, so if I did this, then it could work for me.
Of course.
You know what I mean? And yeah, so I think that because I spent so many years learning how to do that, I became really good. You know what I mean? And by the time I broke into the industry, it was difficult to try to find my own voice a little bit, like, you know. And it was like, I didn't really know what people wanted to hear from Joyner Lucas. You know, my first project, Along Came Joyner, was really just like it was really just an experiment, because it was like if you ever, you know, heard that project, it's like a mixtape, but it has so many different sounds of Joyner on there, and it's kind of confusing, because you'll get like the sing rap Joyner, you'll get a storytelling Joyner, you know, you'll get like a lyrical Joyner, and then you'll get like a dumbed down, you know, then you'll get a club Joyner. There's all these different Joyners, and I'm like, I don't know what people want to hear from me, or I don't know what people are going to gravitate towards to, you know. But it just so happened that people gravitated towards doing what I loved the most, which was the storytelling. So Ross Cappuccioni was the first that was the record that people
Give that a round
really,
of applause.
right? That was the one.
Yeah.
And when that was gratification for me, like, okay, so people want to hear me do what I love to do the best. And I love doing all different types of sounds, and you know what I mean? It wasn't like I was trying to be like anybody at this time, but I just loved doing so many different sounds that I just didn't know, you know, what people were going to gravitate towards to. People started gravitating towards the turn-up Joyner, then I just would have been
The turn-up Joyner.
turn-up Joyner. Like,
Yeah.
that's what y'all want to hear, let's get it. But they gravitated towards the storytelling, right? And it was like, this is perfect.
Is
This
that a
what
sigh of relief in a way?
Yeah, it was, because it was like, this is what I love to do the most, and this is something that not everybody can do, you know. And it's like that was Ross Cappuccioni was like my introduction to like really like, you know, to the game and how people, and then everything was that. It was like, all right, cool, I'm gonna give y'all that, and that's, you know, that's really what that is. Yeah.
Man, I want you to just keep talking, bro. You tell me, you know.
I appreciate that.
Absolutely, had to be.
No, so this is two parts to this question. Then, with so many different inspirations and you just admitting like I use a bit of this, use a bit of that, I always think it's fascinating. And how do you come up with a name? Because I love artists that take a piece of their own name and make it their artist name. How did you decide I'm gonna stick with my name?
So, I went through a bunch of different names.
Oh, okay.
Right, and it was just like, it just didn't. You know, it just really wasn't. It didn't really fit. At the time, it fit. Pause. But then it stopped Finn, Paul. So
You ain't got to pause here, brother. Don't worry. But this is a pause-free zone. Okay, okay, you good.
So eventually, I just ended up just sticking with. I just ended up just sticking with my name.
And that felt the most comfortable to you.
Yeah, it felt the most. It just felt the most comfortable. And then people like, Kendrick Lamar, what other rappers that you used that?
Nas, Nasir Jones.
Nasir Jones,
Yeah,
like
there's a lot.
Sean Carter.
Yeah.
People that
Denzel Curry.
Eminem. Even Eminem was on Marshall Mathers.
Marshall Mathers.
Made me feel like I just used first and last instead of just going by Joyner. I just go Joyner Lucas.
Right. So my artists that were in the place that's listening now and is going to see this, what would you say to them then? That's in that place, because I can easily see people being influenced. You want to sound like this one. This is working. Music is going in this direction. That's working.
Yeah.
How do you find that sweet spot? What would you say to artists?
It's really, honestly, I feel like it's easy. Like when something works and you see something working
For you.
right, if it's for somebody else,
Mm-hmm.
right? If you see that there's something working for somebody else, I think it, and you know how to do it, right? It's like, it's no different than, you seeing a McDonald's and a Burger King across the street from each other, or like what's the street out here with all the jewelry stores, and there's like
Diamond
District. Okay.
They're all selling the same shit. It's like they're all selling jewelry, right? But it's so easy because when you see that work, how did that start, right? Was it one business and then the other person was like, oh, that works for them, let me do it. And then somebody else was like, well, I'm going to put one here, and then da-da-da-da. So the point that I'm making is that it's so easy to do what you see is already working. And I think that's just natural for people to do. But I think that you start to find you'll start to craft and find your own voice. There's people that try to sound like Joyner, you know what I mean? There's people that, and it's like I hear it, and there's a lot of people that tell me like, yo, like, my whole album, like, it was influenced by you and yada, 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 right? But it's like, I understand what that is because I've done that. I've listened to artists and try to sound like them and emulate them. There's artists that come out, even newer, like lyrical artists that come out all the time that kind of copy my cadences and my flows and my style, but I don't ever get mad at it though, right? It's like I love it because it's like that's the type of shit that I was doing. Like that's you know what I'm saying? Like that's dope to me. But they're gonna end up finding themselves by doing that. They take a little bit of this and a little bit of that and a little bit of that, and then they sprinkle it up, and then next thing you know, they come up with their own shit, and then boom, and then they're born. You know what I mean? And that's how that's how Joyner Lucas became born. You know what I mean? A little bit of style from him, take a little bit of M, a little bit of Snoop, a little bit of Nelly, a little Juvie here, a little yada yada yada, a little Slick Rick with the storytelling, little j.cole, you know what I'm saying? Like, even the newer artists, little Kendrick, little Cole, little Drake here and there, little sprinkles of different people that I like and that I listen to and that other people like and listen to, and then you start to like craft your own little sound, you know what I mean? So shout out to all of them artists that I'm influenced by. The
Get them a round of applause. And you know
Thank
what,
you for
man?
answering
And
that.
shout
Thank
out to
you.
all those radio shows out there and people who do what we do that
Who took
took
Sway,
from us, and
Little Sway in the
Who've
morning.
been inspired,
it
influenced.
happens, right?
Yeah.
Look at the podcast now.
Yeah, right.
There's nothing but Sway in the Morning has been like a podcast for it's not just radio. It's been a podcast. It's a podcast. The artists coming up here rapping, and you're talking to people like that's not just radio, right? You've been talking to people, right? And it's like this has been a podcast, but now you got the Joe Budden podcast, you got the Gillian, the $1 Million
Absolutely,
Question
those
Game,
family right there.
right? You got all of these other podcasts, but that were influenced by that, and they've seen that, and they've seen you make a way, and they're like, shit, let me do it and switch it my own style. You know what I mean? Like that's what it's all about. You know what I mean?
That's what
like,
it's all about.
For sure.
I want to talk about a couple of things. First of all, I want to make sure because some of these things are obviously in the past, but we never got a chance to talk about it. But more recently, I know you had scrapped an experimental project that you have worked on for years, and I read that you decided to do that because it wasn't moving in a direction. Part of the reason it wasn't moving in a direction that your fans particularly care for, and it made me think like what percentage of the fans' influence determines the music you make?
A lot of it, because it's like I feel like I've spent so many years building a core, right? And it's like let's use we're gonna use McDonald's. Okay, McDonald's, the people go to McDonald's because they want a burger, right? Or some fries, right? You're not going to McDonald's for pizza, right? You're going there because you want the McChicken, or you want the Big Mac, or you want some fries, right? And people love McDonald's because McDonald's has that, and you're not really getting that from any other places. Now, you do have Burger King, you do got Wendy's, you got all these other versions of these fast food restaurants, AKA you do got other artists that are in the same realm, but it's not McDonald's, right? You got to go to McDonald's to get McDonald's. Now, McDonald's is a staple, and they have the secret sauce, you know, the Big Mac sauce. They got the secret sauce. So now Big Mac sauce, we already know what that is, right? It's been a long time, and we figured out what the hell the Big Mac sauce is. But for many, many years, you had to go to McDonald's in order to get the Big Mac sauce with the Big Mac, and that's just what it is. Now, McDonald's likes to roll out new items on their menu, and a lot of these fast food chains, they roll out new items on their menus all the time, right? But those new items, they're always within the realm of, you know, it's always a new burger, right? Or it's the fries with a little bit of garlic and cheese on it, right? They not rolling out rotisserie chicken. You know, they're not rolling out, you know, a large pepperoni pizza, right? You know, they're not loading out things that, you know, they're not loading out some fried chicken wings, right? Like, you're not trying to go to McDonald's to get those things, right? You want to go to different places that they can get those. So what I started to do was I started to load out, you know, a large pepperoni pizza in my McDonald's, right?
Yeah.
I started to experiment with different things that weren't really in the realm of, right? It was like, although some people were buying it, right?
Yeah.
People aren't coming to my McDonald's to purchase pizza, right? You're going to get people that's going to get it, and they're going to try it, and some people are going to come back for it. And, you know, you might have some repeated customers that go there specifically for the pizza. But if you built this restaurant, this chain specifically off of that hot commodity that you have, and 90% of your demographic is going to, you know, your place of business to purchase your, you know, Big Mac, and they're purchasing your fries and your hot commodity, why are you, you know, going to try to roll out a large pizza and some fried chicken wings and a rotisserie chicken and
do a hot dog in there,
a hot dog in there, and a taco, and a taco? It's like
bagels.
So, not now. I'm busy. The first version was tacos and large pizzas and chicken fingers, and it was all these things, and it was like, you know what? Like, I feel like, you know, because I built an enterprise, you know, people are gonna come and they're gonna try all these different things and they're gonna be happy. But I started to realize, it was like, nah, bro, you gotta do it, you know, within reason. If you're gonna do that, you're gonna roll something new out, you know, you gotta do it within reason. You're gonna try a new burger, you know, maybe put a little something on there, you know, maybe put, you know, some fries, but this time, you know, load it up, you know, do loaded fries, you know, try to, don't go all the way left field and start serving things that are outside the realm. And once I realized that, you know, I started to be a little bit uncomfortable myself, because it was like, I started feeling like, you know, not really happy with the direction I was going in. Right?
Yeah.
I wasn't happy with the taco, right? And I was trying to feed you the shit, right? I ate it. I didn't even know if I liked it, but I'm like, you know what? Maybe they'll like it. And that's not how I do things. I wasn't being true to me. Yeah. Right? Because, you know, I've always tried the Big Mac, and I've tried the McChicken, and I was like, this is fire. They gonna love it. And I'm standing behind it, and I'm like, but I started to do shit like, I don't know if I like this taco, but you know what? You know, they say try new things. I guess we can jump out the window and try new things. So let's do it. I got all these, you know, so it's like, when I realized that I wasn't being true to myself, I had to push back, and I had to start from ground zero. So now this project, getting the Jelly Roll feature and all of that, doing that, this was me, you know, having a new burger. You know what I'm saying? The loaded nacho burger. You know what I'm saying? A little something different, but, you know, you understand what I'm trying to say?
Yeah, man, you're doing, yeah, man, you're a great lyricist, bro.
I'm hungry as shit right now, by the way.
Yeah, no, man, you just my stomach pains right now, dog. Let's stop with the McDonald's analogy,
man. Say you hungry as hell.
Right. the Jelly Roll feature is so.
I didn't eat breakfast this morning.
Yeah, man, let's do this. It's like speaking. You can see burgers dancing in your heads and shit.
Turkey wing.
Best of Me. Let's talk about the Best of Me song too with Jelly
let's do
Roll,
that.
who is man. If I'd love to get Jelly Roll up here. He came up in here one time. We wasn't able to put him on because he didn't come for us. But
Pause.
What?
That was crazy. I couldn't let you slide with. I couldn't let you slide with that, Sway.
even
I had to pause you on it. I had to.
Even after Sway told you it was a poor zone,
That was too crazy. That was too crazy, man. Yeah.
Wow. Yo, thank that's my brother. That's my brother. Yo, I'll take that. I'll take that lifesaver.
Reset.
Let's play the song.
Play a song,
Let's play the song. Best
Pull
of
out,
Me.
pull
This
out,
is the song.
pause.
Best of Me. Shade 4-5.
Got you again, huh, Sway?
He called himself.
I paused myself.
He called
Okay.
himself
A
that.
third?
Yeah.
Wow, that was a first.
Shit, it sounded crazy saying it in front of him at this point.
It did.
He's going to start looking at me different. So I had to pause myself just to save
My
my...
man, crazy guy.
Every day, yo.
Just,
Every day,
Joy-
Joyner. We deal with this, guys.
Best of Me, Jelly Roll. I like how you started this verse and you talking about a friend who had an addiction, right? Who has an addiction. I like your tactics in your songs when you talk from first and second person and you give these different perspectives. I'm Not a Racist was brilliant.
Yep.
Thank you.
That was a masterpiece. The way it was shot was brilliant. A masterpiece.
And you know what's something about that record? I don't mean to cut you off.
No, go for it.
I'm Not Racist. That record came at a point in my life where, it was really my last ditch effort, like, because I started feeling really defeated, at this time in my career, where I felt like it was moving really slow, and I felt like I was on a label situation, and I felt like they wasn't really doing anything for me, and I felt like, I just signed my life away, and I was just going to just get shelved, and I was just like, damn. And I ended up linking with DMX, and we had like a real conversation, and he gave me some real dope advice, and he came from a place where we was talking about record labels and, his experience, that he had with the labels and all of the little tricks and things that they would do to try to get over on you and things. And he basically, told me like, yo, you just gotta you gotta make them believe. You gotta do something that's going like, you gotta figure out something, you know what I mean, to make them like really stand behind you. Pause. So I was like, you know what? So after that conversation, I wrote I'm Not Racist. Now, while writing I'm Not Racist, man, I felt it was like one of the first time in my life that I had like real supernatural feelings. Like I would like be staring off into the blank, and like I wasn't like, I just felt like, it was like I almost knew that this record was gonna change everything, right? And it was like, I knew I was channeling, something greater than me to help me write this song, right? Because it was like, I wrote this song on a Monday, and I already had I had actors in my head that I wanted to play the roles of these characters, and these are people that I knew from where I'm from. These weren't these big actors. These are all people in my music videos. Always people that are acting are people that I've known for years, right? So it's like, when I gave it to these actors, I gave them 3 days, and I knew I needed a simple warehouse shot. I didn't want just a table, it's 2 people, and no distractions, nothing else crazy in the video, and it has to start off just boom. And it can't be, starting off with them walking into the room and, sitting down. That takes too much time. People don't have that much of a time span, you know what I mean? So it has to be quick. As soon as you click play, with all due respect, I don't have pity for you black niggas. It just has to be disrespectful right out the gate, right? And it got to pull people in. And I knew I needed the white boy to go first in the music video. I knew the music video had to drop with the record. It could not drop without the record. And I knew that people were going to assume that the white guy was Joyner Lucas. I scraped my social media. I took everything off my Instagram so people couldn't see who I was. Wow. And I just put, I'm not racist, the white dude. And I knew that was going to have people pissed off and in the uproar. And everybody was going to think, who the fuck is this guy? Who's this white Joyner Lucas guy? Mm-hmm. Which is going to force you to listen to the rest of the song, which you would have then discovered that, wait a minute, that's not Joyner Lucas. Maybe the black guy is. Wait a minute, that's not Joyner Lucas. Who is Joyner Lucas? Mm-hmm. Which is going to force you to go down a discovery path to try to figure out who the fuck I am, right? Mm-hmm. That was, to me, that was the genius behind that record, and that's exactly what it did. I did the record, we shot the video, and I dropped it on a Sunday or something like that, and, you know, the label didn't want me to drop it. They told me no. They said drop it in March. You know, drop it in April. We were in November.
That's the last quarter. They don't want to shut down.
One of the people from the label said, I hop on a call and I showed everybody, and they was like, I didn't even listen to the whole thing. I got offended. I was like, wow. Okay. Whoa. They didn't want me to. Somebody else at the label said, I feel like you should change the ending. And I was like, nope, not doing that. I said, you know what? I'm just going to drop it. I'm going to drop it on TuneCore. I'm going to drop it outside of the label, even though I'm on a label. I'm going to break all the rules, and I'm going to say, fuck you, and I'm just going to drop it. And I dropped it. And I took a nap. And when I took a nap and I woke up, my mom waked me up, and she says, yo, wake up. You're on CNN.
Wow.
Bro, I said, what? I said, what? I walked in her room. And sure enough, every station you turned the channel on, I'm Not Racist was on every single. It was like you would think 9/11 happened all over again. It was a number. It was the world stopped, right? And it was just like that video really. It broke the internet. It broke the TV. It changed everything for me in overnight. I had all the doors I was trying to kick down, all the floodgates things that I was trying to do my entire life, the people I was trying to reach, the superstars I was fans of that I wanted to talk to, but I couldn't get a hold of them. Everybody was hitting me in the DMs. You know, I'm at Chris Brown's house the next day. I got Rihanna hitting me. I'm full accessible. I'm like, it's everything. The world is at, the palm of my hands at this point with I'm Not Racist. And that record really changed my life. So.
Joyner Lucas, man.
And by the way, that was a storytelling record, right?
Yeah.
That was a storytelling record. So when that went crazy, it was another Ross Cappuccioni moment for me where it was like, aha, right?
I found it.
This is right. I'm happy people are knowing Joyner for this shit, for this type of music. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like for that. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And Chris and you went on tour after that, right?
Me and Chris went on tour a little bit after that. It was might be a couple years after that.
Yeah.
But yeah, he brought me on tour after that.
Wow.
Do you find it? I find it interesting the way I feel about you as an artist, right? And now as a human being, right?
Thank you.
A lot of us who are architects who've been in this for decades gravitate towards you.
Yeah.
Do you notice this?
I
You all want to be around Joyner because you appeal to us. Well, for me, you appeal to a part that I know is pure.
Wow, thank you, man.
And it's that simple because we came in it at a place where we were bliss about a whole lot of shit.
Yeah.
And then you start learning the mechanics of it. I know so much about this business that I choose not to talk about because I like that pure. I don't get that often. I see you with Eminem. M don't step out for a whole lot of people, bro.
He don't.
I've known Marshall since 96, 97. He doesn't do that a lot. And I know how he thinks. He's a true MC. He digests this stuff. I know y'all hung out. You've been around him. When I saw you sitting with Will Smith, salute to Will Smith too, man. I say these names. Will's my guy, bro. And I saw you, it just looked like you were teaching Will. And Will was humble with enough humility to sit there and learn from you. and you showing them, reading them lyrics, and y'all hanging out. How does that make you feel to know that these legendary, iconic people gravitate towards it?
I've never looked at it in a way where like these legendary people are gravitating towards me. I'm soaking in the moment while I'm with them, and it's a surreal feeling because I'm just like, damn, like yo, I wrote a song about Will, you know, and it's like just expressing my admiration for him, and to be in the studio with him, or you know, to be at his house and vibing with him, and him just mentoring me. You know, it's just playing golf. You know, him teaching me how to golf, and you know, he's become like a older brother. You know what I mean, to me, and that feeling alone is very surreal. You know, he put me in Bad Boys 4, which is fire. You know, gave me a lot of looks and love.
And Bad Boys 4, man. Come on, man.
Things that he didn't have to do, but you know, he did. And me and him, you know, we made a lot of, you know, music together, and you know, written, you know, a lot of records together. And he absolutely allows me to guide him, you know, when we're in the studio. You know, he's like, yo, you take the lead. You tell me what to do. So, you know, he's in the studio, and he's, you know, I'm out there, and I got a little talkback mic, and I'm like, nah, not like that. Yo, you got to say it like this. And we'll do that take 3 or 4 times. And, you know, I'm just like, all right. And then sometimes he don't get it. And I'm like, Will, you got, you know what I mean? It's just like, you know, that's for me to do that. You know what I mean? With somebody like him, it's just like, damn, you know, it's crazy, but it's a real humbling experience for sure. Like,
where were you when you met X? You mentioned DMX at the top of this. Where were you guys when y'all first met?
He was in a rehabilitation program, and he came to the studio that I was working at one day.
Wow.
And I ended up just like talking to him, and you know, linking with him, and then you know, he would like randomly hit me up, text me at like 1 a.m, like yo, let's go out. You know what I'm saying? And then I'll scoop him up, and then we'll go play pool. He was a really good pool player. He used to scrape me in pool. And we had
no pause on that.
All
right.
In pool, bro. He used to scrape me in pool, right? He used to scrape me
in pool. Pool table. You got, you know, bro. I don't know.
Yeah, he used to scrape me in pool table games, right?
All right.
And he was really good in pool. And we had a lot of real dope conversations, man, you know, and he's actually on the album. So his verse is very chilling.
Yeah.
Rest in power,
Not
man.
now, I'm busy.
Yes, sir.
Pick up this project, man.
Yes.
This is a lot of food. Feast on this music. I say feast because food is meant to nurture.
Yeah.
And so is music. And when you find a plate like the one this man has created, you're going to forever be full. This is just part 1.
Okay.
Okay?
It's got to be.
Joyner we already talked about this. Just part 1. Right?
Coming
We're
back.
gonna get you to the crib, man.
I'm going to his house.
Come to the house, and we do a whole segment.
Can Heather come?
Get the VI. Yeah, you bring her.
I could bring food. I could cook.
She can cook.
I got chefs.
Oh,
I got chefs.
I ain't
Whole
even gotta
chef
work.
treatment. All
Thank
of that.
you.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Let me know what you need. Yeah.
Mike Muse, did you want to say this is Mike Muse right here, and
Yeah, I do.
he's
What's
one
up,
of our
Mike?
What's up, everybody? Thoroughly enjoying the conversation. I really enjoy how you think and your methodology and your concept. And so with everything you just said, I actually want to go back to McDonald's, to the example that you were using.
hungry.
And I'm curious to understand, how do you reconcile when to advance your art, right? Because when is it time to add the chicken wings? When is it time to add the pizza? When do you know when it's time to stretch yourself? Because everything you just said is conceptual.
Yeah.
You're already ahead of the pack with most MCs in hip hop. When you talk, I invoke Kendrick in the way that he did his Parrish show, right? The conceptual stage that he had, the way that he does his videos. He's a Pulitzer Prize winner. So the way he stretches his art. So I'm just curious, how do you reconcile
So what you
stretching?
do is, pause. What you so what you do, right, is you said, when is it time to add the pizza, and when is it time to add? First, you gotta do the, you know, pepperoni pizza burger, right? you got to make sure you do the pepperoni pizza burger first because people know you for burgers and like it.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? And then after that works, you know what I'm saying? Then you might be able to do something, you know what I mean? Like a little small pepperoni pizza dough or something like that. But you jumping out the gate with a pepperoni pizza is crazy. So to answer your analogy is, I think that I feel like you have to do it within reason, right? You can't, sometimes sometimes it doesn't make sense to put pepperoni pizza. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes it doesn't make sense to do those things because it's just so off from your brand. You know what I mean? And even though that you enjoy those types of music and you enjoy doing certain things, doesn't mean, and I've had this conversation with my manager because he's very much into the culture and stuff too.
Who's your manager? Oh, okay. What's up, man? I didn't know that. You know.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
We never met. Or did we?
Met him?
I've been working with Joyner like 8 years.
Yeah.
Oh,
Nah.
wow.
Yeah, you guys would remember.
We would remember each other.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's.
So, okay.
Made it to Kalani.
Yeah. All
You
right.
never seen him before?
I've seen him before.
Nipsey? Oh. That man look like Nippy.
Yeah, that's what.
Colin Kaepernick.
Kalani.
Aladdin.
Aladdin. He said Aladdin. Stop. All right.
Bin Laden.
Oh, damn,
Don't
dog.
do that. Open the door now. Get out.
All right, man.
Yo, but I tell him all the time because he likes to go to strip clubs. You know what I'm saying? He be in the clubs and stuff sometimes, and sometimes he like, damn. He sees that some records that are not really streaming crazy. You go to the strip club and some of those records are big records. You know what I'm saying? And then he'll come back to me and be like, yo, man, we need to make a record like this. Oh, you should do something like that. And da-da-da-da. And I'm like, yo, but that's not my demographic though.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? It's like learning what your demographic is and knowing what it isn't. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, I don't really be up in the strip clubs like that. You feel me? So it's like, if that's something, if I was in the strip clubs heavy, not to say that I don't go, like I've been, you know what I'm saying? I'll pull up if we going out, we going out. Like, but am I going out of my way to hit the strippy? Nah. Am I in there throwing bread and getting crazy? Nah. I barely drink. I don't smoke. Like, my lifestyle is different. You know what I'm saying? He smoke, he drink. Like you got to do certain things to be in certain places, and he'll come back and he'll be like, yo, we should do a record like this. You know what I'm saying? And it's just like, I'm not going out of my way to do a record like that. Now, Chris Brown, he might send me something, you know what I mean, that got that flavor to it. And then I'll hop on it, pause. In that space, you know what I mean? Because it's okay, because it's a Chris record, and it's like, I can get busy on a record like that. But I had a record on ADHD called 10 Bands, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And that record was real fun. It was fun to me, and I had Timbo on it, and it was like a real fun record, and I had the dancers and strippers and all that, and I also had my son in the video, but that record kind of played in the strip clubs a little bit, but it wasn't forced, right? It was the pepperoni pizza burger, right? It wasn't like way left field where it was like, make that ass clap, girl, make that ass clap. It wasn't like all that shit. Like it wasn't that. It wasn't that, right? It was. Does that answer your question?
It does. Answer however you want. Absolutely.
No,
yeah.
did I answer it or
You did.
All right, cool.
You did.
All right.
Okay, man.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate that.
Yeah,
Man,
for sure.
Joyner Lucas is here. We unfortunately we gotta bring this to a wrap.
PMD is outside.
PMD is outside?
Yeah,
bring him in,
I see
man.
the
We gotta
bucket
make this
hat.
moment. Bring him in. You ever meet PMD? Would you do
No, I never met him, but I actually a while ago I actually I rapped over like almost all their beats.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Let's make this
I see the
happen,
bucket
man.
hat.
Let's bring him. Would you like to meet him?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, I meet him. Yeah.
All right. While we're bringing him in, did you hear the recent Kendrick Lamar?
Yep.
I checked it out last night.
Checked it out, man.
I checked it out.
What do you know, Kendrick Lamar? We talked about this, the song that.
Yeah, on Future and Metro Boomin's new record.
And he goes after Drake and get that light for me.
J.Cole.
And J.Cole and you know what I like about this is you don't hear much about people wanting to hold the title,
Yeah.
be the king of rap.
Mm-hmm.
What are your thoughts on that? Is that in your desires? Or?
Nah, to be honest with you, like I never really had a desire to be the king of anything, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's just not my personality to be self-proclaimed anything, right? I just kind of like allow people to place me where they want to place me.
Mm-hmm.
And But that doesn't mean I'm not competitive.
Yeah.
I just ain't never really cared to be like, I'm the best.
Mm-hmm.
I'm the king. I'm the best rapper in the world, right? It's all subjective, right?
Yeah.
It's like, I think a lot of people say you should want to be the best. So you should say you're the best and nobody's better than you, right? I seen an interview with Charles Barkley the other day.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
It was younger Charles Barkley, and they were asking him about Jordan. And he was like, man, like, they asked him if he thought he was better than Jordan. And he was like, of course I'm better than Jordan. And it was like, why'd you say that? Like, you know you're not better than Jordan. And he was like, well, you know, I feel like it's weak to say somebody else is better than you. But I disagree with that, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't feel like that at all. I feel like there's a lot of artists that are better than me. Eminem is better than me, you know? I think, you know, I think Drake is better than me. You know what I mean? Like, I think I don't have a problem saying that. Do I feel like that makes me weak? People might look at me as weak for saying that, but that's just how I feel, right? I feel like certain artists are better than me. Do I feel like Drake is a better storyteller record than me? Fuck no.
Right.
Right? He can't. There's no way he can paint. He can't make a I'm not racist. You know, Drake can't make a Ross Cappuccino. He can't make a Best for Me. But he might be able to make a single. He can make God's Plan. I can't make that shit, right? He can make shit. He Hotline Bling.
Yeah.
I can't do that shit, right?
Yeah.
And he can hop into all these different, you know, lanes and shit and do all these different controller and all these other shit. I can't do that. He's a hybrid, like, for real. He can sing and shit. Like, I can't sing.
Yeah.
But I think he's overall better than me. His stats, you know, from all of the things he could do that I can't. Kendrick, I think, you know, can get lyrically better than me. He get busy, you know what I'm saying? And I love that about Kendrick. So, no, to answer your question, I don't care about being the best. I have no problem with saying other rappers I think that are better than me. And I'm just a fan, you know, of other artists, bro. I don't care to be the best, bro. That's...
Wow.
Joyner Lucas, man, this has been a wonderful conversation right here, brother.
Humble king.
And we're going to make, listen, so this man sitting next to you is iconic for so many reasons. PMD from EPMD, Parrish Smith. It's here, bro. Yo, come on, P. You already know, P.
You already ready.
Come on, P.
All right, let's go.
Come on, P. Because when P came in the game, we talk about the Kendrick and Drake and j.cole thing that's starting to brew up now. I like competitive rap shit. That's why I'm a wake up show dude. That's what we do, right?
Right.
And when you came in, you know, you guys had it was heated up with Rakim.
Yes, big time.
Like, right?
Yeah.
And you didn't shy away from that.
No, not at all.
Right?
No.
Why not?
Because I understood the respect and where it started.
Okay.
Rakim was first. I came through the door. I said it before. Never let the mic. We lived in Brentwood Bay Shore. Rakim came from Wine Dance. So when you're a student of hip hop and you don't have a contract, and Rakim is already moving around doing shows, and he has the 190 parked in front of the house with the blue rag top, and you have enough heart where the sign says in the lab, do not disturb, and you see everybody's taking heed, but I knock, and he opens the door, and he gives the conversation, okay? So no matter how big I perceived or hip-hop perceived me to be, it's Rakim first and the respect. Because once you lose that, you kind of lose yourself.
Yeah.
You want to be bigger than the game, okay? When me personally, what I learned, it's about operating out of your stillness in the fertile soil that you first started with. And that was an observer listening to Eric B. and Rakim come on radio when it was only an hour. So you had to catch all of this. So when it was your time, you just were speaking from the heart. People around town saying this and that, because that was the real pressure.
We sound like the R.
Yeah, you had to keep it real with yourself. But then, drop the album, Strictly Business, you thought we would fold 30 days later, the LP went gold. So I stayed true to myself. But with inside my inner self, I have the respect because it was Rakim's flow that gave me confirmation that, 3 towns over, the slow flow, we can do this.
Interesting, because that's kind of what you were saying.
So do you feel like, Rakim is a better artist than you?
See, I heard what you said. You answered it perfect.
Yeah.
So it's like I couldn't answer that question because of the amount of respect that I have for Rakim.
Right.
So every time I see Rakim, it's like I'm back to the same guy. Not to mention I was driving a 68 Camaro that I built myself. So I would have to drive it to Wine Dance and then see Rakim's car out there. So my whole point is, long as you stay balanced with yourself, the way you started the game, then it's endless and it's infinite. But if you try to pass the people who inspired you, now you're in the zone all by yourself, and you better know what you're doing.
But do you feel like, my question is, are you somebody that feels like I'm the best? Or are you like honestly, I think this person's pen game is better than mine? Like, can you give it up to that pause? Can you give it up to other artists like that enough to,
Stand down
and say, you know what, this person's better than me. Like, and I ain't got no opinion. I ain't got, what I'm saying, no pride about it, no ego about it.
Right.
This nigga's the king, right, of this
Right.
shit. Like, I come after him, pause, but he's the GOAT when it comes to this shit, right? And it's like, I haven't heard another artist in this game say that shit about any other artist, because everything is all about.
But that's the problem. There's a big difference between selfless and selfishness. Selfless, you keep going, so you're just a student and you're a fan of the game, so you move forward.
Right.
Selfishness is like, yo, it's about me.
Right.
Okay, where I didn't come in like that. I came in Run's house tour. We didn't have money for the tour bus, so Run DMC, Jam Master Jay let us ride on their bus for free.
Wow.
Okay, and we was New Jacks. So again, now that we grow in the game, you can't jump out there like they didn't do that for you.
Right.
You wasn't in a position. The other guys had to pay for their tour bus. So when you could be honest with yourself,
Right.
okay, that's when you could move further. So what you're talking about has never really been talked about up until this point. How come there's been a problem just like giving another artist his credit? And even if he was nicer than you,
Right.
because there's some artists that I see when I'm out there that I'm a fan.
Right.
You're so good at what you do,
Right.
so you never could see you. But then when somebody you admire comes through, you, oh my goodness,
Right.
now you know how your fans feel
Right.
about you.
And I feel the same way about artists like M. Like, I can't write another Stan. Like, Stan is masterfully written, right?
Yeah.
Nas, I Gave You Power.
Yeah.
Masterfully
what?
written. Masterfully
Yeah,
written.
yeah.
Right? I can't write that. He got a song called Backwards, right? My backwards is a little bit different. I'm lyrically acrobat and backwards shit, saying one word, say it back. He's telling a story backwards. It's the most beautifulest shit I ever heard in my life. He's saying words backwards, you know what I'm saying? I said, up he go, jump, he there. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
I'm like listening to this shit, and then the story starts from me. The craziest shit I ever heard in my life, right? Like, Nas is a better storytelling artist than me.
Right there.
Yeah.
He is a better, he got that, hands down, bro. I don't even want to fuck with that. Like,
And then you got to go to Slick Rick, of course.
Slick Rick
So-
is a better storyteller than Nas, right? And it's like, yo,
Okay.
it's fine. We can say that. But
There we go.
can you say Rakim is a better rapper than me?
I would have to say, yeah.
Okay.
All right.
And that's real nigga shit.
Round of applause, man. Come on, man. I'm glad this. Check out the Joyner Lucas podcast coming soon, right? Okay.
That's real nigga shit.
Yo.
A lot of artists
Yo,
don't.
like Slick Rick.
Yeah.
Like, the storyteller.
Right.
I
Yeah.
could do Jane. We could do Jane and stuff like that. But when it comes to telling stories,
Slick Rick.
Got that.
Let's do this, man. Joyner Lucas, it's an absolute pleasure
get outta here.
and
My
honor.
man-
No.
My man's been trying to dismiss me for 20
I'm not having.
Joyner, we got to get the fuck up out of here.
No. That's
I
not
know,
what
I
it means.
know. I'm fucking with you.
Okay.
I'm fucking with you.
No,
I'ma let
but
you
I
go.
wanted
Yes.
to make this moment happen because Pete, he used to rap over y'all instrumentals.
yes.
You
And
know
I'm very familiar with him because I be up there in Boston. I be moving around.
Oh, shit,
Yeah,
okay.
he's like got so much love up there, not only from a hip hop standpoint of view, but from a business standpoint of view. So
Got the yoga
I
shop,
just was
right?
up there 2 weeks ago on the Parkway. Yo, you're right there. So they point out, yo, you big up there. And that's what the whole thing about maintaining is when you have people following you, you don't want to let them down.
I appreciate that.
Joyner Lucas, man. We got Parrish Smith is here too. Joyner Lucas got the new album that's out now. You doing the tour too, right?
Not now, I'm busy.
Not now, I'm busy. The
Okay.
tours between May
Millie's and
May and
Dax.
June,
Yep.
yeah.
Okay. We will be there.